Welcome to the Pop Vibes Pod. You are here with your host, Elliott and
Dennis.
And today we're going to talk about the evolution of online communication, especially about AI, VR, and AR, with, of course, some
Side quests.
side quests. I like that. Yes. So we will explore all the digital interactions that we have on a daily basis and how that AI has literally infiltrated every aspect of life as we know it now, except for Mother Nature.
And what it is discovering and where it's coming.
Yep, and what is benefiting from the changes. So we can simply start with the evolution, like the technological age. We don't need to go into too much detail because if you're watching this,
You already know about that.
you don't know that this is a phone, but you know this is a phone. And if you still know what this is, yay.
That'll give audience reached.
Yeah. Don't need some AI metric for that. So,
Like on the street, do you know what that? Bye. Next one. Yeah. Accepted.
yeah. Like, oh, okay. Like it's like the exclusive club. Like you
Yeah.
can enter, you cannot enter. So,
Very
Question-
exclusive.
question to you. Were you around at a time where the SMS and MMS culture was happening?
Yeah. Oh, a lot, especially in Belarus.
So, a little bit of backstory with Belarus and the technological advancements.
I have to come back, so let's be careful.
So, let's try and think to how, in comparison to like early 2000s to the 2010s.
So I would say when everyone had, at that time, outside of Belarus, an internet in their houses, and it was like, reachable. You know, everyone who was willing to have it, you can connect it.
Mm-hmm.
That was very problematic for us. I would say home PCs appeared around 2002, yes, this time, but it was very slow internet, like 2 kilobytes a second. Kilobytes. It was enough for our internet to run on.
Are you sure it was 2 kilobits?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I was checking those metrics non-stop because my internet was...
We had the 56K modem. 56 kilobits. Did you have 2? Are you sure?
No, modem? What are you talking about? No Wi-Fi. Cable to one PC in the house.
Dial-up internet.
Yep.
The
Wired one.
Yeah,
From
with the
the-
telephone.
Yes,
Yes.
with the telephone small chip one.
The ADSL.
But no clue.
I think it was ADSL. First original.
So,
connection.
answering your question, I was around
For
in
the,
2000
you were around for the birth of it in your.
in our country. Yes, I would say it came into 1998, 96. Those who were born those years know better. Who was around?
So,
I
so
still
you were
wasn't
there
planned.
around that time. Okay, so it was.
But I would say,
No.
like, the idea is the following. We were till 2012, like 5-6 years behind everyone else. But then we just, like, immediately.
Started investing in infrastructure.
Yes, like, that's when we got Silicon Valley of Europe, in a way, with zero
Really?
tax. Yes, in 2012, our president has opened, like, a free tax zone for IT companies, and that's when IT Hub appeared in our... Yes, so we give credit for that, that's for sure. So that's why Belarus
So you
was
guys
so
had
strong
like
in IT.
a little hub of IT infrastructure,
Yes, zero tax.
which is really good for the businesses, not for the country or the government.
Oh no, later on more companies started to open their offices, so workforce, taxes on paying the salaries to people, so like it's really boosted everything.
So their boom of like the zero tax, the influx of the initial investors and innovators came there. Was it in Minsk?
yeah.
Okay, so because of that, well, I mean, it could be.
Because
it could be a little
no,
village.
no. It's just like warm feeling of where it was open. It was literally 1 kilometer away from my first apartments in Belarus, which I remembered was like.
So you have nostalgia to technological boom in the
Me?
early.
No.
You had nostalgia now to the early technological boom in the 2010s.
Oh, you don't really know. I didn't know that it was a boom. I only learned about it when I went to the university. That's
You were like, oh, the world's been doing this for like a decade now.
And still, we as a society in Belarus, we didn't know about that. That's the best part, you know. So it was like on such high level without us knowing what's going on. Or maybe because I was a child, obviously.
Probably.
And
So you were there for the growth, and it hit you guys all at once, so to speak.
like I was booming with DVDs, and installing applications, but this, how do you call it, the one was before?
CD.
No, before.
Floppy disk.
Floppy disk, that's how we call it in English, like the square one with...
A floppy disk.
Floppy.
You know what was quite ironic about floppy disk? It wasn't floppy at all. There was no flop.
Yeah, it's solid.
It was solid. So it's
Perfect frisbee.
because now you've got solid state drives.
So floppy disk was something that
Floppy
floppy flips,
floppy flips.
flip flop. So I basically was playing with it like my
Frisbees.
boomerangs.
Boomerang or frisbee?
No, boomerang. I
Okay.
was a samurai.
So you were there for floppy disks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there for the birth of all the early internet, the communication, because floppy disks did not have access to the internet.
Yes.
So they are like the, rudimentary analog versions of digital. People are like,
For sure.
how can we avoid? There was a Mr. Robot episode, I believe. They had to try and infiltrate and steal a floppy disk because it was not digital. I could be misconstruing that. Please don't take me to heart on that. But I watched something where they had to go and steal a floppy disk and a floppy disk inserted into the mainframe because it was not digitized. So they had
So
to.
that broke the system, in a way.
No, it's because they wanted to keep it. It was very secure, the information that was on it, and they didn't want anybody to be able to access it. So, and it was stored in a floppy disk, and they had to get the information off it through like a facsimile printer thing that would,
Right, so no one can track the trace.
It was just not able to be accessed without having the physical disk with you.
Like how everyone is writing right now the password from their wallet online.
Yeah, so oh gosh, and there's already been data leaks of LastPass, 1Password, of people infiltrating those password managers, and they had to admit 2 years after, oh yes, actually we've had a data breach, and yet some of the information, it's not very reassuring when one of the all these places suggest companies say use a reputable source, but any company can be hacked at any point, just because if you've got a team of hackers, there's always someone smarter, period. And that's why they lurk in the shadows, and they will never get found out, because the deep, dark hackers, if you know their name, they've either been caught or they're not very good. If you don't know who they are,
yes,
they are the ones.
Those who on the interviews presented what they've been done,
and
they're not on the field anymore, so they're speaking of something outdated also.
Yeah, so if you think about SMSs, you had 160 characters. You could not use anything other than ASCII, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
120? I had 60 something, I think.
Okay, so
Two SMS were... No, they were unlimited. You just pay for them all.
So, going from my knowledge, from when I was growing up, you would have, obviously, as it advanced each time, the slight technological advancements, you had 60, not 60 characters, because that's Twitter or X now, but you had the amount of characters per SMS you could send.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's either 120 or 160 characters. And I could be wrong, but I remember having to send, on my Nokia 1100, it had to send 12 messages back to back. And if you sent them to multiple people at the same time, it would freeze the phones.
When was it then?
This was 2008 or 9.
Yeah, that's my first phone also.
Yep. So you were around the same time that had you were a little bit younger than me then. But as it moved from SMS to MMS, so the multimedia messaging.
Oh, I skipped that part. It was too pricey.
That was the thing. It was not feasible. In New Zealand still, it's they don't have many competition. In Europe, you got competition like crazy. You got all the different countries, all the different telcos, all trying to dominate the market, especially with the EU and their fair situation, that you had unlimited internet, home broadband, we're just skipping ahead a little bit here, we'll go back.
Yeah.
But just skipping ahead, that you had for 20 euros a month, unlimited wireless broadband. At the same time, polar opposite of what's happening in New Zealand, you had for $100 a month, you would have 30 gigabytes of wireless internet at home. 3G broadband.
All right. Oh.
Yeah. It was only when I was leaving the country were unlimited plans becoming a real thing. It was so far behind. But New Zealand is the first country in the world to get FPOS, electronic funds transfer point of sale. So your bank cards, when it was still swipe on the magnetic strip, insert the pin, insert the card, and have the chip read, and now it's beep, PayWave, watches and phones.
New Zealand was the first.
New Zealand was the first guinea pig country, so we had PayWave 2 years before the rest of the world. So Germany still struggles, but they're trying. They're trying real hard. Yay, Germany! So don't look so aggressive when you do that.
I wasn't.
Mm-hmm. So MMS was like, if I remember, it was like $1.20 or $1.30.
It also was so pricey for us. Like the price was 4 SMS or so, like crazy overpriced for nothing.
Yep, and then
just to send a message, but
with a picture.
Yeah, but like, who needs it when you already had an access to the internet? Skype was around, so that was not really needed.
Yeah, Skype was the next real major change, but what we're missing is the AOL era, which is way before your time. America Online. Yeah. So by the blank look on his face is enough to say that this was like the OG instant messaging service that sort of became
Pagers.
No. The what?
Pagers.
No, instant messaging service, like online. Like you're talking about Skype. You're jumping like three.
All right. Which year it was?
Either early 2000s.
Is it the one which was making this sound as like creak as well, like doo-doo? No, every notification is like that. Great, I know.
AOL was America Online. It was obviously for America. No one else got it. Europe.
Then it was our equivalent of something else, right?
Potentially. So if I'm not mistaken, MSN Messenger was like the global AOL, where it was the instant messaging service. I cannot remember for the life of me what MSN stands for, but MSN was pre-Skype. Before Skype blew up, MSN was the go-to. You could send instant IMs, the chats, smileys, emoticons and emojis were starting to appear. They were called emoticons first because it was emotional icons, emoticons, and now they're emojis. Yeah. So it really throws you right back to how it all began.
Yep.
And the progression. It was like slow start, and then like as technology started, the companies started investing, it just went from. And now we're like at the AI's pinnacle of MIT have accidentally or intentionally reached certain levels of AGI, the general intelligence, where it's it's reaching sentience and whatnot. So researchers are going extremely hard on that now. But so your first intro to video calls and stuff was Skype, yeah? Skype was the most well-known for 100%.
Skype's, yeah. I think that's the only one I know.
Let's hop on a Skype call.
Skype, yeah.
Now it's a Teams meeting. I despise Teams. Oh.
Great application, but very slow, soft.
It's
extremely not
it's
working.
Almost bloatware because it's overloaded with so much stuff that unless you have the highest NPC or Mac,
because it's connected to so many products of there.
Yes,
it gets so buggy.
Yep,
and that's it.
And I have told many people that Slack is like your streamlined version of Teams, because Slack is just doesn't have so many different products intertwined. Like Microsoft is fantastic because it has all of the different applications they can use with it, and when you think about how the progression of Skype was bought by Microsoft, or was it made by Microsoft?
No, it was independent project, which later on got bought by Microsoft because they were
because they sold it to Microsoft
because
for
they didn't have money. Yeah, the profit was not there.
Exactly.
After appearance of WhatsApp, it's just got dead. I remember.
That is very true.
WhatsApp was this thing.
We could literally spend 3 hours going through each and individual technological advancement in the past decade or 2 decades.
For sure.
Because
There is so much to talk about.
Oh my gosh.
Even
like
on a basic level, without going into details of
90%
technology.
of people don't care, but the 10% that do, they will sit there and listen very intently about the advancements of each technology if it is all correct and the timeline follows.
Actually, if it's not correct, they're just going to spam the comments, which is also great. And we're going to learn what we said wrong. That's the best part.
My favorite is when somebody corrects you and then you're able to fact check them on what they've said and you're like, oh yeah. But hey, that's,
It's going to be your enemy for the rest of your life then.
I mean, until they get bored or they just start harassing you or spamming you. It's all fun and games on the internet. So moving into the immersive technologies of AR, VR, and of course AI coupled with AR and VR.
All right.
Now, if we're looking at virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and augmented reality, a lot of people know the acronyms, a lot of people know what they do, but they don't really know what it's all about. So, in your words, what would you describe virtual reality to be?
Virtual reality. When you have a look around yourself, everything is being produced by machines. So, which means you're surrounding either screens, which creates art, which creates something out of this world, or for example, you're in USA, but appears to be in the forest of Belarus enjoying the sunset. Or you put the glasses on, and the same idea. You look around, and it's not real what you see. It's being produced and presented to you by using screens. I would say something like that.
Awesome. So it's a distorted reality that is created ultimately all by machines.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what would you do for augmented reality? Because that's a little bit more fun to explain.
Projectors? What you see in Disneyland? No.
The augmented
You know
reality.
what you have when you go for a rave party in a club and they have a lot of lightning going on you and you feel that they're interacting with you? That's what can be a definition. So with the use of machine by being present, machines help you to create the surrounding. So it can be either light, screen, moving something, object, which gives you the idea that it interacts with you in a way, or adding up to your surrounding. Okay. Imagine like 3D model of something, projector, 3D projection of something. Okay. Am I wrong?
No, I think, yeah, that makes sense. So in my interpretation, it's the augmentation through projections into your current reality. So it is making it an immersive environment, either using some kind of eyewear or headgear, that your perception of reality is not changed. There is additional information.
Not the whole surrounding is being changed.
So
you are present and you see what's going on.
You are in your full human reality. You are on the earth and your reality is around you.
Yeah, in this room, for example.
But you can have a projection of a screen, another screen, like in the Apple Vision Pro. You have multiple rooms that can remember and locate where you were to have screens or additional things that are not real. There's no physical presence.
Enhanced reality.
Enhanced reality?
Oh. How?
Enhanced reality.
I always thought it was enhanced.
Enhanced? It's maybe American.
Enhanced reality.
Enhanced reality. So your reality is now not just simply what is in front of you, but there is additional artifacts or images, potentially, videos. And as AI progresses, the augmentation will start to blend the mix of reality and virtual machines, virtual.
But
that's the scary part, is that
we're not yet at the level where we cannot distinguish our eyes. But
if you look at some deepfakes.
No, yes, but I'm talking about the one which is connected to like creating your reality, surrounding or change it.
So the AR.
Yes, but not the video part. Yes, of course, when you watch someone's video, this is insane.
So I edited a video for a client. It was about the growth of augmented reality, and the video stipulates quite a lot of how it's already possible, because the implementation of like China's social,
Yeah.
their facial recognition and their entire social security, and all of their systems are based on their social score. So you've got the augmented reality, artificial intelligence working in tandem to basically create what's on paper in what's happening in the rest of the world. And as you rightly put when we spoke a while ago about a bank in Poland offering you 50 euros
Yeah.
to basically...
Not me directly, but anyone who would open their bank account. Yeah, but there is a feature that you open a bank account with just a selfie, like scanning your face.
So basically, you are opening a bank account, selling your facial recognition
Biometrics.
data, your biometrical data,
For 50 bucks.
for 50 bucks. And they will use that.
Thinking that you won, but then in the long term, oops,
Yep. And
you
that...
sold your face for 50 bucks.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, that this, can segue into privacy. And the fact that people believe, especially, the very strong advocates like Germans say, GDPR, data privacy is our number one concern.
Oh, we're gonna...
When if you use any technological device, use any social media, your data privacy has disappeared. The EU do a very hard stance on data privacy, but if you put anything online, nothing is safe.
Done.
Period.
That's it. Data
If
leaks everywhere. We just don't know about them. No one admits or so.
They will only admit when they get caught, or
After several years, just to
Oh,
only if they get
yeah,
caught.
we had a data breach about 2020. Yeah, only half of our information was leaked, but we don't really know the full extent of it. So they admit, okay, we were hacked, but we don't know the extent of what they stole, because we don't know, because they didn't tell us, and either we chose to pay them or we didn't.
But then what Poland has done, really, really nice stuff. For example, the
What
parcel can get blocked. So that's one of the best implementation, I think. That your identificational number is blocked by default. If you want to use it, you are the only person who has an account in the system of government.
If you have a trusted profile set up.
Exactly.
So
you're the
this
only
EPO-up system.
Yes, but by default, the parcel is blocked, so you would not be able to do anything. In order to unblock it, you would anyway go to the local municipality and try to unlock it, and they would tell you that you have to create an account in the system or so.
Okay, so the parcel that's reserved for you as a person. And
Exactly.
You in the system. So it's analog and digital at the same time. So you need to verify your data through a trusted profile, which is then linked to your telephone number. And if your telephone number gets leaked, lost, stolen or something, then it's in tandem. There is your personal...
If your phone got low, then
it's
done.
not even about the phone. It's about, because we both have Orange Flex. This is not a shout out to Orange Flex, but they have the eSIMs.
Yep.
So you can keep your account.
I'm on eSIM.
Yeah, I'm on eSIM too. You can also have a physical SIM, and you can have multiple SIMs. But as the world progresses even into even deeper into the digital age, you know, with newer phones, you can have, especially with Orange Flex, up to 5 SIM cards.
Yes.
And if you are
eSIM cards.
Yeah, electronic SIM. So you can have a physical SIM. Some phones don't even support SIM cards now because they don't need to. But you have phones that have dual SIM because of work phone and personal phone.
But eSIM and several is so convenient.
So the best part about the eSIM is you can contact the support and say, hey, I need to port my SIM number over to the next phone. No
Done.
problem. And what I like about Orange Flex is that you can have multiple numbers, eSIMs, under one family plan, so to speak.
So
And they all have individual numbers. So everybody gets their individual number, but it's all under the same plan.
but not, yes.
And it's extremely beneficial because most people that have home Wi-Fi in Europe have unlimited internet. And you pay not even $15 or maybe $20 for unlimited 1 gigabit per second broadband, depending on your apartment, house, tenement.
Router and everything.
It depends on many factors, but if you have a 6E or at least a minimum of 6 Wi-Fi 6 router or modem with a booster of with a stronger router built in, that 75 gigabytes of mobile data, unless you are a permanent traveler who is constantly out and about using the internet, streaming stuff, and just basically glued to your phone, there's no way you're going to use that. Because if you use FaceTime, like on iPhone, or video calls, the compression software is so good nowadays that you'll have a video call and it will use like 200 megabytes for an hour. And that's either 1080p or 4K quality imaging.
Yeah, the standard has risen.
Exactly. So as technology grows and technology
consumption grows, but then also the plans.
Yeah. So, and the EU is forcing changes, of course, because you know what they allow. Did you get the email? They have to increase across the board the EU roaming plans. It's specific to Orange Flex only. No, it's good. It costs the same, but you get increased data.
Oh yeah.
You got that email?
No.
Oh.
Probably in spam.
Check your spam folder.
So that's why I get more data right now.
So when you think about AI as a whole, artificial intelligence in social media, can you currently distinguish what is AI written and what is human written, or can you notice definite similarities?
Depends on the content, but I would say at the beginning no, because I'd say now depends on the content. For example, those crazy amount of videos where something is more like Subway Surf or any other game, Minecraft, on the bottom of the screen, then on top of there is a person with subtitles of what they're saying. I never knew that it's something that it's so easy to create it by using AI. Didn't know. I thought it's always being created by people and how much time they would type in and spend on that. But apparently it's AI. So that's something.
There are tools that automate this process.
Yes, like I've learned a couple of months ago. So that was like, oh, okay, it's not human. Oh, you spent 8 seconds on making it. All right, interesting.
Less than.
Yes, exactly.
It's literally one click.
Yes, so that's surprising.
If you're watching these clips.
Video deepfakes. Oh, yesterday I watched like GTA San Andreas.
Yep.
Animated, obviously, and close to how it would look like in real life. I could not tell if someone would show me a video like, "Hey, someone done cosplay." I'm like, "It's great cosplay." I wasn't purposely.
You were unable to distinguish.
Yes, you cannot tell
if it was a human or if it was.
Yes, with the facial recognition, the eyes were alive, the muscles here were moving while they're speaking. Crazy.
Because all of these softwares that have been, all these AI tools that have been created to clone people, are literally training these models on human facial, like literally for $20 a month, people are literally uploading their human mannerisms, facial expressions, tonal effects, every single thing.
Yeah.
For example, Delphi, fantastic software. I wouldn't suggest buying it, but check it out, fantastic. You can clone yourself with a proper video of you like head on, straight on video. You can clone yourself and you can mix it with 11 Labs' latest, shout out to 11 Labs, fantastic software. By the way, no sponsorship for any of this, for any brands we talk about or companies or software, because it's just, I use them moderately daily and they're just incredible. When you combine a clone, a facial clone of yourself, obviously it's limitations because it cannot, hands are still a big problem, but
hair.
Basically the movement is growing like motion, but the focus as a whole on cloning your facial recognition and your face and your body, like half torso, with a clone of your voice, because 11 Labs have gone through significant changes and adaptations and growth on their voice cloning. That there have been, obviously if you're American, there's a hell of a lot more data on the American accent versus British, or my weird British Kiwi clean weird accent. It's not like one specific one. Someone here is British, someone here is Australian, someone here is Kiwi,
you're breaking the AI. It's
like, what do we do? So if you pay a little bit extra, it's really not that much. If you can go to a bar and spend $10 on a cocktail or $20 on a really fancy drink, then you can spend it per month on this software that can literally take all of your voice recognition
characteristics
through voice and replicate it almost 99%. That it is extremely scary that if I was to play you something, you'd be like, is that really you? Because one time we had, when I was telling you something...
It's all about the voice, yes? We're not talking about the replication of your face.
No, the face is fine, but when you mix like something like Delphi with this, and you combine the two, you would think you're talking to me. And there is a software, I can't remember the name of it right now, that they have been trialing out, like basically taking meetings for you, which will, you could physically be there, or you could just not be there at all. It would sign in, you would sign in, and it would take over. And if you have it connected with AGI, it can then...
I've seen videos of the guy doing it for the job interview.
Yes, and that is literally what's coming next. That's the next big thing, because that is a very scary thing, because if AI starts to go a bit haywire, you're not there, that is the likeness of you, the body and mannerisms of you, but it's not actually you. So if you have allowed this to happen, and it says some outlandish, crazy, wild things, and
it's
it
on
goes,
you.
It's on you, because that's where the ethics sort of like plays into it, because it's like not even a privacy thing anymore. It's that you were responsible
because you produced it
for your avatar.
Yeah.
And if your avatar, you know, starts to be a
goes
little
crazy, you go crazy because you take it as a representative of yourself.
Exactly. If you're not physically present and your avatar, your clone is, then everybody in that meeting
Still believes that it's
it's you. So if you know, someone asks a question and it goes absolutely haywire, there's no script it can go off unless you've created your own AI application where it has like generic responses to them. But if somebody asks a very specific question
and it doesn't know,
it's going to get creative. And if you put the creative meter, let's say to 10 out of 0,
creativity and AI goes wild. Wild good, I would say. For us to sightsee,
it depends on how wild you want it to go. Oh, you're testing it?
Yep, testing the waters.
Okay. The proverbial water.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Now it's time to put it on each cell phone.
So that then goes into the authenticity of the interaction. Because if you are unaware that you're talking to a clone with somebody's cloned avatar.
I already can see the government saying if you're using the clone, you have to notify everyone that it's a clone of you, and it will be mandatory. And if you don't do it, it will be against the law. Like I already can see that being a legal state.
But how quickly will they implement that law?
Oh no, very slow.
And that's the problem.
Because government is still not using, but Polish is doing great, because government has still not started to use the AI. So it's not strongly connected on how it can impact the legislation or other processes in the government.
But, I mean, not even but, however, Poland on Friday, so Friday the 15th?
Yep.
Friday the 15th of November 2024 at 2:10 p.m. Poland's government has announced plans to invest 1 billion zloty, which is 232 million euros, in the development of artificial intelligence, including developing a Polish large language model, which is very, very interesting. On Friday, the Defense and Digital Affairs Ministries signed a letter of intent pledging to coordinate efforts in the field, including establishing an artificial intelligence fund and a council to oversee it. So I just already can see misappropriation of funds right away.
Be careful.
So how many people are going to pocket how much of those millions based under the task force expenses?
Yes.
So artificial intelligence is indispensable today, both in economic and security contexts. But it is crucial that AI is used safely and responsibly, said the Defense Minister Władysław Koźniak-Kamysz. The Artificial Intelligence Fund and Council aim to select the best projects that constitute the future of Poland. We will spend an amount of around 1 billion zlotys, so 232 million euros, on Polish artificial intelligence. Now, I don't know what Polish artificial intelligence means, if it's going to benefit the citizens or if it's going to...
I just read, like, first of all, they're not even saying when it should start. They already gave the money. So the first, they don't even have a plan of when it's going to begin.
Hold on, it's an article. Shout out to Notes from Poland for releasing this very, very quickly yesterday on the 16th of November 2024. The Digital Affairs Minister Krzysztof Gawkowski said that they will spend about 1 billion on it. He did not provide a time frame for that spending, which is ironic because it's supposedly going to be presented, the plans, in early 2025. Now, if they're going to release that, you cannot state we're going to spend 1 billion, but you don't release where it's going to be spent. This means it is, an early adaptation of what they could actually spend it on. And
so they just announced.
They just announced they'll spend it without any. Yeah. So once established, the Artificial Intelligence Council will be an advisory body tasked with overseeing and coordinating investments and activities related to the development of AI in Poland. Now, it will develop guidelines to support the implementation of safe and ethical AI, design programs to allocate funds to specific projects, and monitor the development of the AI market in Poland. What's that?
I mean, like, I'm just reading it quickly so that they're not getting bored of, like, just us reading it. But it's already interesting what they're saying.
Yeah, so it's going to bring several state institutions together that are still pretty analog and not digital. So Digital Affairs, Education and Defense Ministries, and the Polish Development Fund, which is the PFR, and the National Center for Research and Development, the NCBIR, I think is the Polish acronym, and the National Development Bank. Why is a bank involved?
Sponsorship?
Potentially. Okay. Artificial intelligence development strategy is something that can be a competitive advantage for Poland, as well as its security and economic development.
Okay, so they want to use it in military force and also for civilians.
So they want to do a broad spectrum enhancement.
It's too wide to speak.
Yeah, it's extremely broad. Yeah, because early 2025 will be when they present it. Yeah. So the defense minister has highlighted the possibility of dual use of AI with applications in both civilian and the military sectors. The armed forces need artificial intelligence.
But, like,
it will be used, and it is already being used, he has added. This was Kośniak Kamish. I don't understand.
I don't want to speculate on that.
Yeah, so a Polish radio station that launched the channel almost entirely by AI, including its presenters, decided to end the project after less than a week. The head of the station admitted they were surprised by the level of emotion the idea had caused, because it had supposedly fired its presenters that were human. It had removed the programming that was human, and it was down to deemed as a successful experiment. So
let's just go through it quickly.
Yeah, so the artificial intelligence is already being used and adopted by small and medium businesses and enterprises, which actually is true, and it's being used in the best way possible. And understanding a Polish large language module, which would be a PLLUM.
Plum.
A plum. A plum. It's a project known as Plum. Plum.
How's your plum going?
How's your plum going? Plum pretty good, yeah.
Are we up to plum? Yeah, plum is good.
So the controversy was based on the public radio station. Did you just make?
No.
No?
It's clean.
It's fine. I believe you. It's okay.
Hope
so. So yeah.
Great plan. Zero plan is ready.
Ultimately, as Note from Poland have tweeted on, or X'd on X, a consortium of Polish research centers have launched a project to create a Polish ChatGPT. They say that existing AI systems have been trained with little Polish content, resulting in knowledge gaps and linguistic errors. because Polish is not exactly the easiest language to...
Wait. Then I have a question. Are they gonna use the ChatGPT API to just train it with Polish content and then use it in the government level? Which they can't, because it's gonna be private companies they're gonna consult on.
I think you can have to talk to that Polish consortium about that, because
I don't think it's even possible. No way. Private companies can take the
the API of
they like
OpenAI, but they can train it on that, and that's the question is like how.
But the API is still gonna be like the data leaks.
Not even about data leaks. It's like if the AI, the language models have been trained on, universally English models.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, of course.
I'm even like ChatGPT already. Yes, it doesn't know the history of no, it knows everything which was produced and made in English, and then use a translator, and amazing it already knows the Polish language. So I'm just trying to justify why so much for so little. When you could gather a team of 6 people and like, hey, we give you so much money, but just let's work on ChatGPT API and create for Poland. Then yes, you need a team which will provide it with people, because my aunt is working right now with AI for something that I know, and you don't need that much money.
Okay. Yeah.
As the project manager, you already think about those steps, and yes, on a government level, but you don't need a council which is gonna do. How people who have never been involved in making it gonna know that it's working precisely?
Because they want to be part of the future.
Yeah,
they want to be
of
part
course.
of it. So the ethical considerations of AI in communication, I think, is, we've already covered data security and privacy, because that's...
I can tell, for example, DMA, which Europe has signed with everyone.
Yes, the what was it called?
DMA.
Yeah, what was the...
Oh, I have data...
Digital...
You remember?
Marketing...
Don't be like a teacher. Agreement?
There you go.
Yes.
Don't be like a teacher, but teacher, taught you into the...
Yeah, but so that's already controls a lot. That's why we don't have Google Maps in our search anymore, and we cannot just directly go. They are blocking it in Europe. But you can still have Google Maps on when you're searching pictures, image, like products. It still appears on any other location of the world. So just here, you cannot go directly. There is no link of location anymore. Also, all of the content. Right now you have we skip some parts, I cannot mention it, but...
Due to data privacy?
Yeah, due to the data privacy. I mean, I cannot say what internally I've been doing, but generally it asked, and this is a recommendation which you can find on the internet, so that's why it's a valuable source, that all of the piece of information, doesn't matter which company, is being labeled. If it's a privacy, if it's an internal private, if it's a workforce, if it's a location of someone's, and this was a very huge process, which Europe has taken very seriously, and at least we can make sure that anything what we're using, Google Maps, YouTube, any other application, and every small information which is being collected from us is being labeled and used in a good term. That's for sure one of the things. Other companies, remember we were speaking about, that's one of the biggest agreement in Europe, which saved everyone. But remember we've been speaking about fakes and how deepfakes.
Yep.
People are using it for interview right now.
Yep.
What we have in our company, that some people are using deepfakes to pass the job interviews for technical. And then, so at the interview, you know everything. And then someone comes into the job. Oh, no, I misinterpreted. Should have thought it properly.
Do you mean that people are having their clones taking the interviews,
yes,
and they're not able to fill...
Yes. And no.
They have no idea what they're doing.
And the companies are trying right now to figure out what to do with that. That's the process...
Specific with multiple companies or just one?
Multiple. Multiple companies. And then the issue also, if it's a work or someone is being presented in the meeting, is it the person who is But deepfakes at work is not possible, because they probably can control your soft, and they can track what you are doing on your laptop.
You mean software?
Yes, soft, of course.
Yeah, but you can't just say soft. Controlling your soft. Most people don't know what just soft is.
Oh.
You have to say software. If you use like
Really?
soft internally,
But you understand.
I know what you mean.
So that's the best. If you don't understand what I'm speaking, please ask in the comment section and I will reply to you in a timely matter.
Only if you're watching the video version, because the audio version, you do not have that option.
Gotcha.
So, you think that tech companies need to balance the innovation with privacy, because they have an
Yes.
ethical responsibility, because most companies they try and skirt around their ethical responsibility a lot of the time.
I think a lot of companies are actually blocking the use of AI so that the people are not spreading the news, because when you copy paste and trying to solve your issues or get the answers to your questions, what you are encountering that you cannot actually, like, you're gonna deliver to AI your real situation. So if this data is being used anywhere and someone is analyzing your prompts, they're gonna be like, oh, one day he's working on that, one day they are doing that. Oh, really? So, maybe I should invest in that, you know? So
It can be like, it can create a whole new insider trading sort of market. Like, okay, yeah, that could be. I mean, it's changing so rapidly. The amount of AI
and
applications.
it's definitely been aggregated, like the data is being aggregated and somehow analyzed.
I think probably the largest owner of data right now isn't Google anymore. It's probably OpenAI.
For sure.
Like, you have hundreds of millions of daily users.
Especially Apple, plus Apple when it's just joined. We don't know how it works and where.
We don't know what they're doing with this. That's the scary part. Is that
they are doing something. With
you've got really intelligent people advancing these LLMs, and then you have the general population, trying to treat it as like 2 + 2 is 5. So it's like combating itself. And like I love the disclaimer at the base now. ChatGPT or GPT can make mistakes. Always like fact check the information. But when you have the search functionality, it then searches the internet to fact check, and then it fact checks with things that could be misinformation.
Yes.
So again, the ethical responsibility for these companies, they are the same. It's the same with the Pacific trash patch floating in the Pacific Ocean. No company or no one company is taking responsibility for it, and all those companies that are producing the things that created the patch are majority not pitching in to help clean up. There are some companies now that are like innovative and like creating stuff to like scrape the giant fishing drag nets, and it's like, why is another company cleaning up after another? And
they're not gonna admit it.
of course not.
Nah.
So when you think about all these companies and what their employees and how it impacts them, like the mental health and the mental toll that employees or people who are using an increased level of intelligence, artificial or screens.
It's us.
Well, right now we're offline. But if you think about the daily usage, like you can obviously with iPhone, probably most Androids, you can check the screen time usage.
Yes.
And if you're working in front of a computer like most adults are, you can, when I was growing up and when you were potentially, the level of the technology was not advanced enough that you could be so
It was not smarter than the human brain.
Not that it was smarter, but you didn't have the dependence on it like we do now. Like when teachers, back when I was younger, would say, "Oh, you're never going to have a calculator in your pocket." Yes, we do. We have an entire globe in our pocket.
Any granny right now needs to have a phone in order to do something because it's not being done.
As it becomes more and more technologically dependent, you need an app to do this. You need a confirmation through a message. Like the security measures, the two-factor authentication should be standard everywhere. And if a company does not offer two-factor authentication, they're either understaffed, underfunded, or they do not care about your privacy, period. And when you look at the advanced level of how the interconnectedness of society is as a whole, there was the 6 degrees or 7 degrees of separation between people. Now you're getting socially engineered recommendations of who you should, could, or supposed to know based on the people you know. So it's algorithms telling you, suggesting who you should be connected with, rather than going out and meeting somebody and you're like, this is their online persona, all the information aggregated or data collected on that person, who you should know.
People become less aware of whom they are meeting and how to evaluate them.
Yes, because like dating, since the
soft skills.
Yeah, Tinder destroyed dating because it turned into a game, and when you gamify something, you're playing on the epicenter of humans' need for the dopamine rush. So you've got TikTok brain rot, dating apps that a lot of people are facing a huge crisis with not even mental health issues, but
you just don't feel that something is right.
Well,
you're getting overwhelmed, easier stressed, and it's all
connected, because like anxiety and people like hiding behind their keyboard and actually having to physically go out and talk to somebody.
But also we all get the access to the information way more than we used to. So nowadays
you can physically stalk somebody if they accept you, whatever they post on their social media. You can find more about a person than actually asking them questions if they're a shy person.
But also for people, it's harder for our brain because so much information is coming in that it used to be way more chilled for people to live because the amount of information was coming. You had time for yourself to relax, to just have a slowly morning. But now you wake up, you check your mail, then you go to social media, and then boom, you don't have time to like even think, reflect on what's going on. You have to go for work. Then you have different sources of coming. You work at the laptop.
There is too much stimulation from every corner.
Yes.
There is no section of
and it becomes
downtime.
Harder and harder to live like that because you need to use phone to even check your bank account nowadays.
No, you can go to the bank, but it's inconvenient.
Yeah.
And we want convenience. You don't go to most people still shop in, brick and mortar stores.
Yes.
But that's called a brick and mortar store.
I prefer them.
As opposed to like ordering online and just sending it back, because the convenience of the store that, if you Zalando or any of those online retailers, ASOS,
then
you can
we're
order
coming to the point of less interactions with people.
Exactly, and the perception of isolation. So people are becoming more dependent.
COVID has not stopped.
I would say COVID just, the pandemic.
Pandemic, yeah.
Amplified it immensely, because the introverts thrived and the extroverts cried, because that was no pun intended there, but
go to Belarus next time.
So yes, to slowly to wrap up, we've covered quite a range of topics today, a lot of serious concerns, a lot of benefits,
and a lot of questions,
and more questions than answers, I believe.
The best
were raised.
Poland and AI.
That's not the best. That's just the most interesting.
Yeah.
For this week, I wonder how this information will fare in a couple of years, and see if this is going to be beneficial or detrimental to the citizens of Poland.
I mean, if it's going to be implemented as a chatbot in Govern.pl.
So, if we were to summarize this, the digital detox strategies, if you are a person that suffers from anxiety, nervousness, or insecurities based on the increased or ever surmounting dependency of technology, because the more you as a person use AI, you are becoming more and more dependent on a machine doing the thinking for you, cloning you, speaking for you, being able to create a whole script based on what your personality is like. You are outsourcing your personality.
You don't even know if it's a real answer.
Because you are now either tricking your brain or believing. Oh, that's what I would
It's
say.
gamification.
Exactly. So the Tinder thing, everything is when you gamify a response, you're playing on the pleasure center of
You
the
don't
brain.
even learn what you get as an answer.
Exactly. So to counteract that, set yourself some screen time limits. If you know you have an addictive personality, be extra vigilant with that, because if you know you can go down a rabbit hole of watching lots of short form content on one app and then switch to the next one, you're going to lose half a day for no reason.
For no reason.
Uh,
More
offline activities. You know those people you're texting? Meet them in person.
Go out, have fun, talk to people.
Yep.
Offline.
If you can, practice mindfulness on a daily. I know you don't have time for it, but meditation, closing your mind, switching off, listening to something relaxing. I don't know. Whatever mindfulness practice you want to do, or even listen to a podcast. So, of course, the benefits will be improved mental health and mental well-being overall. What else do you think would come from that?
Relax, close your phone, go to the world, have fun.
Live life how it's supposed to be. Go and touch grass.
I will write in our Facebook statuses.
Go and touch grass.
Go outside, look at the sun.
Watch this episode, but also go outside and listen to it.
Stop using phones, but listen to us.
Yeah. So on that note, thank you so much, everybody, for listening and watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. That's it. Signing off from
Go out, have fun, enjoy life.
Go out, have fun, and enjoy life. That's all from the Pop Vibes Pod today with your host, Elliott and...
Elliott. On purpose.
I think he means Dennis.
Bye.
See ya. Done.
What a great...
That was a good set.
Yeah.